Well, back here at the news desk live here in Anaheim, continuing the live coverage, not just now on the Teradata website, now we're on YouTube and Facebook. So for all of you that are joining us once again, welcome back. As it is still hot outside, 100 degrees in late October. Can you believe it? I haven't gone outside in 3 days simply because of that. Coming out of some great breakout sessions, Better Matters, enhancing Verizon's customer life cycle by using the rights. If you didn't get the chance to catch that one, again, that'll be on demand starting tomorrow. Moving to the cloud, 5 real-world problems. And of course, you have a problem, you got a solution. They give you all the answers. The IoT is all about data, not technology. Again, just a couple of the great breakouts that you guys can catch tomorrow. Again, that will be on demand. And everything you've seen on the news desk, all the sessions that have happened over the weekend will be on demand for 90 days following the conference. Not bad, right? Not bad. Well, let's go ahead and continue the interviews here. We've got about an hour and a half of fantastic interviews, and we're going to end with Jason Silva, who will be the general session, the speaker. So I'm excited to chat with him as well. We're going to be chatting with a guy that dives off of 30-foot cliffs in La Jolla in San Diego. That's Rob Armstrong, Senior Technologist for Teradata. Rob, good to have you up here, bud.
Thank you for having me up here.
Another San Diegan. It's like a family reunion here at the news desk. A lot of San Diegans here. We get to chat about America's finest city. So, diving off of 30-foot cliffs.
Yes.
If that's going to happen for me, it's because I fell. Not because I'm going to choose. How'd you get started diving off of cliffs?
Well, I'm a springboard diver for college at UCSD.
Okay, got it.
And we went down to the clam, and somebody said, hey, can you jump off this cliff? I said, sure. And since I'm a diver, I decided I would actually do like a 1.5. And people are like, oh, okay, he's a diver.
So you one-upped him. You not just dive, you're going to throw some spice into it.
The big one was a handstand double.
Sounds like a number 3 at In-N-Out.
Yes.
I'll take the handstand double. So in San Diego, you live in Point Loma, beautiful area of San Diego. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. The planes fly right over you, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm awake by then, doing business, and you got the pause button on the remote. Just live with it.
There you go. We're going to be chatting about a few things here. The topic for you, providing the audience with an understanding of how Teradata is accelerating business outcomes with our analytic solutions such as customer experience, risk mitigation, and supply chain intelligence. But let's brag about you. 87. First off, you're looking at a guy that has been to all 30 partners.
Yep.
Not many people have done that. That is impressive since 1987. You were employee number
340.
340. That is I mean, let's talk about the transition from 30 years ago to now. You basically can throw a little pebble and hit the furthest little pop-up that's out there. Right. And it used to be little pop-ups. Now it's huge
crazy.
diagrams out there.
The first partners, we had probably more employees than we had customers.
Yeah.
Just in a little room in Marina Del Rey, and I got actually stuck with the check at the dinner that night. Because I sat down, as people came and went, I ended up being the last one at the table. And
that's what happens.
It was crazy. It's like the youngest guy at the table is picking up the entire meal. So,
the secret is that now I'm sure you got to ghost it.
Yes.
That's what you got to ghost it. You got to walk out and not come back in, and you just meet everybody outside. Rob, you contributed in virtually every aspect of data warehouse and analytical arenas. His work has been dedicated to turning data-driven business insights into action. He currently works to help companies incorporate the worlds of big data and hybrid clouds into their overall analytical process. So let's dive right into it.
Jump in the pool as it is, right?
I'm trying to work in your diving background.
The waters of the data lake, as it were.
See, look at that. The data. I didn't even think about the data lakes. See, that's why you're here. We talk about business analytics solutions. What do you mean? What do you mean by business analytical solutions?
Well, the business analytics solutions really follow our credo of business outcome-led, technology-enabled. And this whole idea is that businesses need to be more focused to be able to get to the right data at the right time to be able to act on it. And so we're really trying to get that attention, but at the same time, there's technology behind it that business users don't want to be bothered with. It just has to work. So, and then the last aspect is that we want to get the business ability, direct access to the data so they can leverage it. And the whole idea is fast insights for timely and targeted actions.
So what drove Teradata to create these solutions?
Well, Basically, there's a couple factors that drove us into this environment, and it was that the day of that 6-month to 2-year project, I got to live through some of those. They no longer exist. Business users have minutes to hours to respond to what the challenge is. But the data's everywhere, so they need to be able to understand how to get to data, where the data's at, and the business analytics solutions are all about driving that outcome, packaging it, understanding to get a good proof of concept out to an operational environment. Now, it's kind of interesting. I just like this quote. When you don't have the ability to solve problems, you deny they exist. When you have the ability to solve problems, you find bigger problems to solve. What our business analytics solutions are all about is giving the business community the ability to solve their problems so they can start finding bigger problems to solve.
We're talking about a lot of problems. Give us some examples of the solutions.
So one example, and I think it's the easiest one because everyone can follow this one, is customer journey or customer experience. If you think about it, we all interact with businesses all day in many different ways. We go to websites, we go to kiosks, we go to stores, we go to, we make phone calls, and we drive that. So we have all these experiences and all these interactions with the companies. But one of the things I've learned is nobody calls the call center because they're happy. We always call the call center because there's a problem. And 9 times out of 10, the company inflicted that problem upon us. So let me give you one great example. My wife hit this one. It was kind of funny. It's being highlighted at the conference. One of our customers. So my wife pays bills online. She loves that. She loves the float. If the bill is due on the 25th, 11:58 p.m. on the 24th, she's online to pay. She makes the payment. Well, then she gets a response that says, "Thank you for your payment. All payments take 24 to 48 hours to process." What do you think is the first thing that she's going to do when she gets that message?
Print it out and put it on the refrigerator to show you that's what she did?
No, because I'm probably out somewhere else in the world. She calls the call center and says, "Hey, I just paid, and you're telling me it takes 2 days to get a payment processed. Am I okay?" And they say, "Yes, Mr. Armstrong, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Your service will continue." This company did analytics with us, and we found that is a very common occurrence, so much so that by simply changing the verbiage that they sent to her after thanking her for the payment, reduced the level of people calling the call center. So now I have lower costs in the call center, but I have much better customer satisfaction because I don't have that angst of, are you going to shut down my service?
So it's interesting that you say that you call the call center, your wife calls the call center. It's totally opposite with me. The call center calls me and asks me, "Where is my payment?"
Well, there you go.
That's usually the same time, same at the time. I just count on them. It's like, "Hey, what's going on, Jason? Good to have you calling me again."
Well, that's how I am with hotels. I wait till they put that bill underneath the door. That's how I know it's my turn to leave.
That's right. Other business outcomes that you target with these such offerings?
Well, you touched on some of them. Basically, we have 6 major business outcomes that we target. We are looking at the finance transformation, supply chain optimization, asset optimization, risk mitigation, process improvements, and product improvements. Now, the interesting thing is, because a lot of people like to try to line these up to industries, all industries have all of these outcomes that need to be achieved. And so it's not something that we just do once and move on. It is, let's go quickly into one of these areas. Let's find your biggest pain, solve the biggest pain, and then move on and extend our solutions into the other opportunities as well.
We've got about 30 seconds remaining. There's other offerings out there. What's different?
Well, the big difference is in the scope and the way that we leverage our intellectual property with the technologies that you can also bring to the table, our customers bring to the table, and the rapid analytic consulting engagements, which I believe you've heard about here at the conference, and our velocity environment as well that allows for the complete environment. Bottom line, what we are doing is working to leverage our past experience to ensure our customers' future successes.
Good information. Good information out here. I'm glad you came up here and chatted with us here on the third and final day of the virtual opportunity for all of you out there to be watching. When was the last time you jumped off that 30-foot cliff, by the way?
It's now illegal.
It's illegal. It still happens. It still happens.
It's illegal. It would probably be about 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yes.
Well, tomorrow, what are you doing around 3 o'clock? I'll do it with you.
I'll meet you at the clam.
Done deal, done deal. Rob Oster, our senior technologist for Teradata. Thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate it. Hey, hang out right here. David McCreary, you got to watch this. He's out there wandering around somewhere. I hear that he wants to come up on the news desk. We still have not let him come up here, but he's wandering around the Anaheim Convention Center in the lobby. David, what are you doing out there?
Thanks, Jeff. I'm hanging out here in the lobby. I figured what we do for you folks at home is let you know what it feels like to actually be here, to walk through the doors right here into the conference. First and foremost, right behind us is the Teradata Depot. This kind of stuff. Jacket. This is a nice jacket, right? I mean, you guys just got like, ooh, that is nice.
Oh, nice.
See? You see that? Anyways, not sure if I need the jacket. This is for show. It's 106 in Anaheim today. So it's warm. I'm going to try to keep this on throughout the whole thing. But we're having a blast, obviously. So you walk through these doors. The first thing you get to is registration right here. And these people have been working hard because we have 4,500 people here this week, something like that, give or take, maybe more. So all these folks have worked hard to get all the people in there registered and make sure they were supposed to be here. I want to see how hard they've been working. Hey, guys, how y'all doing over here? Doing good? You guys been working hard this week?
Working smart, not hard.
Nice. That's a good man right there. So what does working smart mean when it comes to registering people?
Means is that customer service is amazing. Like the people smiling when they come in. The first thing they see us in the morning, we get them excited to be here.
Love it. Love it. Fantastic. They hired the right people right here. They know how to do it. Thanks, guys. Have fun. You too. We'll see y'all. All right. So you walk past registration. Once you get in, you come down here. Here's the expo hall we've been in, and here's a little behind-the-scenes thing. You may think it's funny. Maybe you have to be here to experience it, but they've got nice carpet down in there that they put down for events like this. And the static electricity is off the charts. So every once in a while, maybe you've seen me in there doing my thing, you'll hear a pop. What that is static electricity running through me, through the microphone, into John's ears over here, our cameraman, and it shocks us, and it's just, we're going to stay away from there for right now because it hurts. It hurts, but it's a blast in there. It's okay if you're in there not hooked to a microphone or a bunch of equipment. But we'll come down here, people hanging out down here. Brain Date check-in area. Okay, let me tell you about Brain Date. You may know already, and I don't even fully grasp the whole concept yet, but what it is basically you can get on the app and you can set up appointments to talk to somebody who wants to talk about the same things you want to talk about. It's a way to set up networking so you don't have to kind of happenstance into a conversation that you want to be in. And this is it. This is our Brain Date check-in area. We're going to talk to these folks. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, good yourself?
Doing great. Are you guys handling things over here at the Brain Date?
Yes.
How's it going? Are people digging it?
Yes, we have over 50 topics that people can just track the conversation in and jump into the group brain dates.
Is this the first year for it?
Yes, it is.
So you have thousands of people here. You could randomly connect with the good people, but the platform allows you to, find what content you want to share about, to share knowledge about. So it's a great way to connect with the right people here.
Awesome. So, do you guys? They're in there doing it right now. I'm gonna get a shot. I'm gonna get a shot of this. We're not gonna interrupt them because, like I said, this is all scheduled networking. So they're hanging out over here. Don't worry, guys. Keep going. I'm not gonna interrupt. I promise. Here's a group brain date. So these guys are all networking about what they want to network about, and they met up on this Brain Date app. I think it's a brilliant idea. Man, talk about using technology. It's amazing. So great things going on here at Teradata. I want to try to fool somebody with some magic. Do we have people that I can fool with? I want to do a card trick for somebody. Who we're doing right over here? Hey guys, how y'all doing over here? Good. So my name's David. They got me walking around, interviewing people and doing stuff. I just want to have some fun with you. Would one of you want to help me with a card trick? Yeah, awesome. All right, so here's what's it's gonna get weird. I need you to hold the mic for me while you watch the trick. Does that make sense? All right, so here's what we'll do. Get the jacket on. Do me a favor, reach in there and grab it. I know I got you doing so much stuff. I'm gonna yell so the microphone can pick me up. Reach in there and grab a card for me. And then show that to the camera. I'll look away so I don't see it. Good? And I'll take it back from you. So here's the deal. Very important. I want you to notice that there are no marks on the back that would let me know what your card is, okay? I did. I just looked at it. I don't want to. I have no idea what it asked me to do magic. We'll do it again. Reach in there and grab another one. I'm just messing with you. Anyone you want there as it goes by. Show that around. I'll look away so I don't see it. Make sure that's not the 9 of hearts again, though. That would be too easy. We'll just use it. I'm just messing with you. Do me a favor. I want you to sign your name on it or mark it some way, just so we know that's your 9 of hearts. Perfect. So we'll take this back. Idea of the game is to tell me where in the deck the 9 of hearts goes. So it starts off fairly simple, just like this. The 9 of hearts with your initials on it. I pop it up so you see it one last time right there at the top. Good. Goes from the top of the deck to right about here. That goes right about there. So just a guess, about how far down did that go? About halfway, give or take. So there are marks on the back. It's a little dot right there in the middle. That's the exact center of the Jack of Hearts. Now, if I take that Jack of Hearts and I spin it on that dot, I can get it to turn to that 9 of Hearts with your name on it. I have no idea how it worked. We'll do it again because it's freaking me out. Your 9 of Hearts, I pop it up so you see it like this. Your 9 of Hearts, do me a favor, don't let me cheat. I want you to push that card into the deck for me. Yeah, just push that in there. And then,
Put different place?
yeah, you can put it in a different place. Excellent. And that goes there. Perfect. So it goes, you can still kind of see it there. But I do like that. Did you see where it went?
I know the location, but not
I have no idea. It's freaking me out. It's freaking me out. Well, I'll show you how fast it comes to the top. Just like this. Your sign, 9 of Hearts, goes in just like this. And that's the move. That's how fast it comes back. A lot of people are like, there's no possible way that 9 of Hearts is going into the deck. Goes in about halfway down, just like that. Comes back to the top. Here's where it gets crazy. That's it. That's the move. Did you see it happen? See, my hand is empty. In my back pocket, in my wallet. I carry with me at all times. You see the card. I don't know if you can see the card. Would that freak you out if that was your sign card in my wallet? Can't even get it out. There we go. It's not, but that would have been awesome. That would have been so good. It doesn't matter. I get one more chance because inside my wallet, I carry a second wallet just in case of emergency. Inside this wallet, there's a zipper compartment. In that zipper compartment, I carry one card. It's your signed 9 of Hearts. There you go. You can keep it. You ruined it by writing all over it. You might as well just keep it now. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me show you something. We'll see y'all. Have fun this week. All right. I'm going to head back here. I'll just leave those cards here. I'll find those later. Let's come back over here. You guys are pointing to the expo hall. Are you guys going to make me go into the expo hall? Oh man, they just want to hear me get shocked, and you may see the camera shake because I'll shock John. But here we go. I'm a little scared. You think I'm joking, but you get shocked if I walk like this. If I walk over here, and here's more networking going on. The little lobby right here before you get into the actual displays is buzzing constantly. People hanging out, super cool place to hang out and just network. Now this stuff is kind of unscheduled, so you don't have the brain date stuff going on here. This is just, they're making the networking happen. So you can see it's a bit of a buzz going on out here. People having fun. The big thing about this is that there's networking going on everywhere. You want me to touch this? Touch this? Yeah? Did you hear it? Did it go? It probably went through the thing. All right, we'll come over here to this booth, find out what's going on over here at the Teradata booth. Hey guys, how's everybody doing over here? You guys having fun? Having a good week? Who wants to talk to me about what you're doing?
This is the Art of the Possible
Come on up here.
booth for customer journey. So what we have here is a 9-panel tour, and it goes through what a connected consumer experience would look like if you have all your data and analytics and channels all integrated in one experience.
Great. And for me, my big question is, what are you handing out to people for free?
We have fidget spinners.
Fidget spinners.
That glow in the dark.
Let's see. Oh, she's going to give us a display. Let's look at this. Nice. Look at that. Can you throw it from one hand to the other and keep it spinning, like the crazy kids can? Close enough. Close enough. That's even better. That's better for television when it fails miserably. That was good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So who's having fun? Like who's having a blast so far this week? All of you? Yeah. What'd you guys do last night? Once you went? Oh, really? You went to Disneyland?
Yeah, I went on Pirates of the Caribbean and did the Path of the Jedi video, and Jungle Cruise. And so Chris Toogood, the chief marketing officer for Teradata, was a Jungle Cruise tour guide when he was in college. He gave the Jungle Cruise about 39 times a day, he said. And he gave us kind of the behind-the-scenes tour of the Jungle Cruise. He said some of the jokes they're telling today are about 30 years old. Wow. And the best part of it was in his name when he was the tour guide on the Jungle Cruise was less capable.
That's so good. Did he go with you yesterday? Yeah. Could he sit there and just listen, or did he try to chime in every once in a while?
Yeah, I think he was chiming in a little bit. I think he couldn't not.
Right, yeah, it'd have to be tough. All right, so here's the deal. Thanks, guys, for talking to me. Here's the deal. Obviously, a lot of important stuff going down here, the Teradata, all the information people are taking, but we're also having an absolute blast. Jeff, back to you.
Yeah, you're having way too much fun out there, David. Way too much fun. Great magic. I don't know how he does it. Talented guy. A little off the rocker a little bit, but that's what makes him David. Coming up next, we're going to be chatting, moving over to North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. We've got Bill Rand up here, Assistant Professor of Business Management. Good to have you up here on the news desk,
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right, so did some research on you, and you are you like to brew beer.
I do like to make my own beer, that's for sure. Yeah.
How do you think North Carolina's beers are? The breweries out there, what do you think they rank here in the U.S.?
We've got some fantastic breweries out there, especially doing some interesting stuff with new styles, sours, gozas, that kind of fancy stuff. And I'd say we give California a run for their money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You ever heard of San Diego breweries? Best in the world? Stone? Yeah.
We got Asheville. We got branches here in Nevada. We got New Belgium. We can put you up.
Oh, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, the Brewers. You got San Diego's the king. Come on, San Diego's the king. But that's a fun hobby you have there. Being a dad is top priority. That's great. A family guy. You like to do Ironman races in your spare time.
That is true.
I don't get.
Well,
I'll do an Ironman race if somebody says either do that or I'm going to throw you off the cliff. That's the only time I'm going to do an Ironman race. Your spare. I got a free 3 hours. Why not?
It's a fun way to just kind of get out there, do some runs. I just completed a half Ironman in Wilmington, North Carolina. Did it in just under 6.5 hours, which is a personal record for myself.
Wow.
So really happy about that. Yeah.
Good deal. So, I mean, the biggest, most, I guess, toughest terrain I always remember watching on TV is Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's the toughest one. Is that a goal? Is that something you ever want to complete?
I mean, it's a goal in the sense that, like, also owning a million gold cars is a goal, right? Like, it's not something I'm ever going to do, but I would love to do it for sure.
I like where you're going with that. You have a goal, I do. Bam, here, million gold cars. I like your thinking. Let's talk about why we're up here. We can talk about all kinds of stuff, but let's talk about, so you examine the use of computational modeling techniques like agent-based modeling, geographic information systems, social network analysis, which what we're going to dive into here. Natural language processing, machine learning to help understand and analyze complex systems such as diffusion of information, organizational learning, and economic. Now, our topic here, specifically though, brand managers and their marketing leaders combine all different types of data, CRM, POS, social media, to make sense of what is going on. I mean, because that is the big question. What is going on?
Yeah, so this is a really tough question that marketers are starting to deal with, which is how do you handle all these different types of data that you have out there, right? You have point of sale data, you have your customer relationship management data, and now to throw it all on top of it, you've got social media data in the mix, right? And so how do you pull that all together? So we've been working with Expedia and Teradata together to kind of try and start to answer some questions they might have around combining that data. And in particular, they're interested in how does social media data drive both engagement with the Expedia brand, but also sales on their website, on the mobile devices, and so forth. And so we're building some prototypes for them in the Teradata App Center, which allows them to kind of see how those different pieces of data thread together and how they are affecting each other overall. And so it's really about finding what data is the most salient and then finding a way to combine them in a way that it makes that's easy for a manager to understand, like in the App Center in Teradata, for instance.
So how is AI changing marketing? That can go a lot of different ways. But in your take of this, AI, game changer.
Yeah, for sure. So with all these different types of data, right, the problem with it is that you can't just look at a million pieces of text. You can't look at a billion pieces of photos on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever and instantly make sense of that as an individual person, right? So what you need to do is use AI to go and process that data to put it into some sort of format that's interesting and relevant to you. And then you can extract and use that data and combine it with other methods out there. As a result of that, we can start to make decisions about what customers are doing in a wide variety of spaces that we couldn't make before. I mean, it kind of brings me back to the old Wanamaker quote, right? There's a quote that 50% of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. I just don't know which 50%, right? I don't know which half. And so the real question here is, can we figure out how to better spend those advertising dollars? And AI is a solution to that. It allows us to figure out which of those advertising dollars is really hitting home and really affecting a customer's journey to a conversion to a purchase.
Want to go into monetizing images and videos. I mean, that's on the consumer side. That's big business.
Yeah.
But on the business side, if a manager wants to grasp on how consumer-generated images and videos, content relates to sales, what do they need to do? I mean, Instagram is, that's the leader, I think.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so Instagram is a great place to start, right? There's a lot of images being uploaded to Instagram on a regular day by your consumers and by the brands themselves, for that matter, right? And what we need to be able to do is understand those images quickly and figure out what they are actually about, right? Like, is this an image that has a nice scenic viewpoint in it? And so, for instance, with Expedia, we're taking a lot of the content that they've put up there and trying to pull out what image concepts are in there. And then when we pull those concepts out, we can start to better understand what types of pictures drive likes, drive engagement. If we were to just say, hey, this image is really popular on Instagram, that doesn't help a brand manager decide what other kinds of images I can create. But once we process that, once we say, hey, this image has a beach and a woman and a ball and a nice scenic sunset, I can start to think about other images that I might create that have similar types of features to them. So really, it's the power of AI that allows us to transform those images into data that becomes actionable. And we do that all by combining it with things like engagement numbers, with sales numbers, and other things along those lines.
Future of machine learning, big buzzword here. What's the future of machine learning to drive sales?
Right. So I think that, if you talk about machine learning, how it works with analytics and how that works with sales and things like that, you really can think of 3 stages, right? There's the descriptive stage where we're describing what's going on, and that's not really machine learning, that's more statistics. There's the predictive stage, and this is where we start to get into machine learning, where we're saying, this image or this concept, this product is going to be very popular in the near future. But really the future of machine learning lies in prescriptive analytics, right? Which is the idea that I, as a manager, can have a piece of software that says, hey, Bob, one of your most valuable customers, is about to churn. You really need to go out there and make this offer to them. And that's not a brand salesperson making that decision. That's a piece of software analyzing the patterns of behavior of how Bob is interacting with the company, how Bob is posting photos on Instagram, how Bob is doing other pieces, taking other actions that allow me to really understand. And so the future of machine learning lies in prescribing what actions a marketer should take.
I like that, prescribing what actions. That's like a pharma term.
For sure. It's almost like the machine learning will become the doctor of the future, right? Telling you what to do. So.
Well, speaking of the future, the edge of next, of course, the theme this year. Next year, what are you excited about? What interests you the most going into 2018?
Well, I think that really moving to more and more AI is obviously the case, but I think that AI is going to be embedded in things like Internet of Things technology, right? Really the edge devices. And so you'll have things like information signals coming from, say, your smartwatches or from your mobile devices. They'll all be being fed into a constant uniform experience for you that will really provide marketers with the ability to take actions about those kind of actions. They can say, hey, I can see from your phone that you're near our store. Do you want to stop in and make a purchase in the near future, right? And in fact, not only make a purchase, but it'll say, I know that the last time you came in, you bought these things, and these things. Well, the next time you come in, maybe you want to throw in something else that people are buying along those lines to complement what you're buying. And so really taking that combination of AI, Internet of Things, putting it all together to really make a cohesive experience for the individual consumer is really where I'm excited about things going.
No, just like in Atlanta, fantastic chatting with you again here in
definitely.
Anaheim. Do it in Vegas?
Yeah, for
next
sure.
year.
Let's do it.
I see the NC State there.
Definitely got it. Go Pack.
Yeah, San Diego State did well too, just like the beer does well. Yeah, I got to do that jab in there. Gotta get that jab. Bill Rand, Assistant Professor of Business Management at NC State University. Bill, thanks a lot.
Thank
a
you
lot,
very much.
All right, well, we're going to continue the live coverage here in Anaheim at the news desk. Again, YouTube, Facebook. Hey, welcome to Anaheim, no matter where you are around the world. I know there's some folks out there watching in Paris right now, in Canada, and also right down the street, an Uber ride in LA. Coming up next, we're going to be chatting with a guy that just, I mean, why not? Why not just go sail the coast of the Adriatic coast in Croatia for 2 weeks? Todd, why not?
I tell you what, I have become a walking billboard for Croatia.
Yeah?
Croatia is this absolutely amazing place that's got this amazing scenery. The people are wonderful and friendly. It's safe, it's clean, and it's got 2,500 years of history that you can see. You can see Roman stuff and Greek stuff, and it's amazing. It's just an amazing place. You should go. Everybody should go.
Well, I think partners should just go to Croatia next year. I think you can
Let's
lead
do
that.
it.
Can you lead that charge?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll hold it in a Roman fort. How about that?
Oliver would love that. He's the chief technologist at Teradata, Todd Walter. I like your style. I always see you walking around. You got your hat on, the Indiana Jones style. You know, you never know. There's going to be a lasso whipped out. We're going to see you fly through the expo hall. You never know. Chief technologist at Teradata, expertise in big data, database engineering, and system architecture. Works closely with Teradata customers to implement data strategy and analytics. As a pragmatic visionary, he helps business leaders, analysts, and technologists better understand all of the astonishing possibilities of big data and analytics. And I feel like the way, with you'd be one heck of a storyteller. And so you have a pretty solid relationship with the customers, I'm sure. They just enjoy listening to you.
I have a really wonderfully fun job. I get to go around and talk to all of these amazing customers, like all the people who are showing up here at the conference, and help them on their journey to use data to change their business. And it's just fun. It's a fun job.
Yeah, it seems like. I mean, you're perfect at it. We had a senior technologist earlier. You're the chief technologist. That means you're the boss. Does that mean chief? Is that what it is? I want to make sure I get the order of operation correct. Well, if you get to wear the hat like that, you can run the entire business. We hear a lot about IoT, Internet of Things, but AOT. Why analytics of things and not Internet of Things?
There's a lot of chatter about Internet of Things these days, and a lot of people are talking about the data that you can collect off of all these sensors, and that's really, really great. You collect all this data together, but you don't get any business value from all that data until you do the analytics, until you turn that into knowledge about your business, your customers, your products, and turn that into decisions that change the way the business operates, that improves performance, that improves customer satisfaction, that changes your business model entirely. And until you do all of that, it's a giant cost. A cost that has no value to the organization whatsoever. So just collecting a bunch of data together in a pile, zero value until you do all the analytics on it.
That answers my next question. Is IoT valuable by itself?
It's really.
Is there any value?
First of all, by collecting the data without analyzing, no value. But it goes a step further than that. You can take all of the data, for instance, off of your Fitbits or whatever, right? And you can learn something about those people and how they're behaving, but you can't make it actionable until you link it to everything else you know about the organization. The patient, what treatment they're undergoing, when they're supposed to be doing their PT, all of that stuff. Until you can link all of that together, then that's where the real value is. I think by itself, 10% of the value. Connected to all of the rest of the information in the organization, you get to reap the other 90%.
So what can be optimized, improved with AOT?
Everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. Depends on your business, of course, but everything from service of a thing, a vehicle or a machine or something like that, to optimizing your healthcare. I went to a session this morning where they were talking about gathering the data so that we can better manage your mother that's in the nursing home with Alzheimer's or whatever, and better understand how to care for that person and know when they're being active and not active, and make sure that they have a better quality of life. Now that's cool.
That is cool. That's really cool. And there's a lot of examples like that. How are businesses going to change with AOT? And when does a business know that it's ready to handle the data? I mean, can you put the cart ahead of the horse in some cases?
You can put the cart ahead of the horse if you don't start with a business goal. Right? You always have to start with a business goal. We want to make it so that our machines never fail in a way that I have to actually experience that failure, right? Or I want to significantly improve customer satisfaction, or I want to change my business model in some way. Without that goal, you can really get ahead of the, you can get ahead of the cart pretty badly, and then it becomes an IT project without a business goal or a business justification. But I think every business is going to be fundamentally changed over the next decade or two, and those who don't get on the stick are going to be left behind. They're going to be the people who just aren't in business anymore, because other people are going to fundamentally change the way their business and their industry operates, and they'll be left out.
So folks out there that have business, maybe a startup, an existing business, big, small, how would you suggest them getting involved? What would be the first step?
You got to look at what is the next thing to do for your business? What are you trying to accomplish for your business? It always starts there. And then it's a simple progression. What am I trying to accomplish for the business? What questions do I need to ask and answer in order to accomplish that mission? What data do I need to answer those questions? Where is that data? And then bring it together and ask those questions and get those answers, make the decisions, and go change the world.
I like that. What about the social implications?
Oh my, I think people are really underestimating it. I think that, I like to use the example of automated cars, right? The self-driving cars are all about the data, right? They can't exist without the data and the analytics and the algorithms and the AI. But there's a huge fan out of effect if when I should say, the automated cars really hit the streets. It's going to put drivers out of work, and lots of people are talking about that. And that's millions of people who are having middle-income jobs today. But there's a huge fan out. I talk to bankers, and they say, well, Internet of Things doesn't apply to us. And I say, well, okay, if we've got self-driving cars, how many insurance policies are you going to sell? Because those self-driving cars are going to be in a fleet, and you're going to get them to come to you with an app, and nobody's going to own a car anymore. So there's no insurance policies, no auto loans, no insurance adjusters. There's this huge fan out of effect, and so if you see some of the studies that have been done in Canada, there was a study that said 42% of all existing employment opportunities are going to be automated in the next 20 years. That's 42% of the working population that needs to remake themselves, remanufacture themselves into a new career. And we all know that not all of those 42% are going to be thrilled about doing that. There's going to be a lot of resistance, there's going to be a lot of angry people. And I think we as a society really need to take responsibility for retraining, and for helping people make those transitions to new careers. I think we need to invest as companies, as governments. We need to teach our children to be agile and be able to change jobs every 5 years or change careers every 5 years. And it's not just different jobs, it's truly different careers, because that's how fast moving this is really going to be. And without that, people are going to sit around being angry, and it's not going to be good.
I like that point. Getting in there with the kids early, teaching them a different way. Way of a career, because they follow their parents follow their parents, becomes a pattern. Another thing you talked about, and I didn't think about this, is the insurance on the cars. I mean, that is a massive business.
It is.
We don't know what's going to happen, but the obvious thing, people at home might be thinking, well, if that happens, insurance prices are going to go up, skyrocket everywhere else. We're ending up going to be paying the same amount just because we don't have car insurance.
I think insurance rates are going to drop off drastically, because I believe that the self-driving cars are going to be radically safer and very massively less accidents, which means less risk, which means lower premiums, right? But I think it goes further than that, because I really believe that the self-driving future is also going to be an as-of-a-service future, right? And so people aren't going to own cars anymore. And so there aren't going to be individual insurance policies on cars. There's going to be a fleet policy on 250,000 cars, right?
That makes sense. That makes sense. A good point. Well, great chatting with you. Great insight. I feel like run for office.
Thank you.
From Croatia, I guess. That's where you're going to be. Fantastic. Now, take a seat for a second. Hang out here for a second. We're going to take a look at a customer video. Got a couple of them. We're going to come back with a whole lot more action, more info coming your way live here in Anaheim at Partners 2017.
Safety Cloud, a transformation of multiple types of text data through analytics, a visualization leading to significant innovation.
Almost all the businesses carry a lot of text data. There could be call center notes, it could be complaints, it could be employee emails, it could be anything. And the most common challenge that all of them have is to find out what customers or their employees are talking about. So there are different types of algorithms out there that can actually allow you to find topics in the documents. But however, it's very hard to sort of cluster them in a very intelligent way, so you can look at common themes that emerge from these complaints and call center notes and emails.
For this race engagement, call center and safety inspector notes were brought together to be analyzed, revealing potential safety issues that could be corrected on the manufacturing floor. Common themes emerge as text clusters.
So once it gets clustered like that, then a safety inspector or investigator or the person in charge can actually mouse over some of these clusters, and the document will pop up and show them what it's talking about. And then immediately you can develop an insight and say, oh, all these little dots in the blue, they're all talking about this particular subject, and hence they're clustered together. They can then move to the blue cluster, or they go to the yellow cluster, or the one in the orange, and then they'll find those documents.
Applying natural language processing to these analytical techniques allows for sentiment analysis, giving the business added insight without looking at every document the dots represent. The art can change the way companies do business.
The initial reaction was, some of them said, these visuals are straight out of an art museum, was the first reaction to this. And everybody wanted to have this picture in the room. Like I said, they want to put it on the manufacturing floor. They want to share it with their executives. So it is a pretty popular.
More than popular, these techniques deliver results for all industries.
Because, text is like water. It's like every business has text. And most of the time, as I mentioned, everybody wants to look at improve customer satisfaction, retention, and they want to know what competition is doing, all the things that go with running a business. And the answer lies in the text, what your customers are talking about, what your employees are talking about. So this is broadly applicable to industries beyond manufacturing.
Business outcomes visualized through technology, making a difference.
That is the exciting part of being a consultant working for Teradata. Every time we go, we start with a problem that is not so clearly defined, but we kind of know where we want to go. And when we crystallize that opportunity into something that's useful, it's just a customer excitement. Those moments, aha moments that happens during the project, and everybody crowds around and looks at the visual and they talk about it. Now they understand the business much better, makes your job very fulfilling.
The art of analytics and Safety Cloud. One of the largest communications providers in the world, Fortune 15 giant Verizon, has built their business capitalizing on data and analytics, replacing gut decisions with data-driven, science-based decision-making.
We deliver the digital promise to our customers. We make their innovative lifestyle possible. We do all of that by offering the most reliable network and in the latest technology. But Teradata is our backbone to our data warehouse. And ever since the formation of Verizon in year 2000, we've started this partnership with Teradata. And our entire enterprise data warehouse runs on Teradata. And every day, it is supporting us with decision making.
Reporting to the CMO and CFO organizations, the business intelligence team supports sales, marketing, and finance.
Naturally, my team is roughly 50% marketing, 30% finance, and 20% IT. So we live in the world of all three together. Why so is that we need the marketing vision and the sales rigor to produce the most relevant offer to our customers. And then at the same time, we need to have the finance rigor to ensure that whatever we offer to the customer is also profitable to the business so that we're responsible to our shareholders.
Serving IT, the BI team ensures that business gets the most actionable products and services rather than technology-focused solutions, assuring the best performance for all three organizations.
Our mission is to be the honest voice and the independent third-party opinion on the success or opportunities for improvement to the business. So my unit is viewed as the golden source of information, and we come across with the honest voice. A lot of the business decisions, right, are through various rounds of course correction.
The team relies on the 7 P's of marketing: people, product, place, process, pricing, promo, and physical evidence, executed correctly to penetrate the market.
The modern day marketing theory involves 7 P's. It starts with people. You have to understand your customers, understand their needs, hence create the product. Then you move on to where they shop, which is the place. Then you move on to the process to get to the places. Then you work on the pricing and the promo to get their attention. Then lastly, you got to focus on physical evidence, which is business intelligence. You have to convince the business you are penetrating the market in the way you thought you are, and you are optimal in the offers you made.
With Teradata Unified Data Architecture, Verizon uses analytics in 3 ways to innovate and disrupt in the competitive telco market. 1. Identify new opportunities for revenue. 2. Within the core business of mobile. And 3. Business planning in supply chain, staffing, and the 7 P's of marketing. For revenue, advanced analytics give critical insights to the Internet of Things, which in turn generate opportunities for top-line growth. For business planning, customer behavior analytics allow finance to better predict earnings in a fast-changing market.
Aster and/or predictive modeling becoming very important here. So we do follow the customer's journey, and we track the people that were on 2-year contracts. How quickly do they churn, or how slowly do they churn? And then usually the pattern would be very, very low and spike near the 24-month mark. But you can clearly see they churn a little bit more every month, but then that spike at the tail end isn't as obvious as before. But overall, over the course of 2 years, they're still similar. So that kind of eased some of our concerns. Hence, we will be able to advise our business planning group. So from the new in-source of customers, you need to model their churn or upgrade in this new pattern. Whereas the declining base, you need to continue to model them off the old pattern. And that way, you will have a much better prediction into our quarterly earnings.
Quarterly churn predictions are within 1 to 2% with laser-accurate data and analytics. Remember, Verizon revenue for 1 year is $131 billion. Executing at this level takes a specialized team.
In the advanced analytics world, I'm primarily looking for a combination of talent skills. And one of them is certainly the statistical and mathematical modeling skills. And equally important is the SQL skill to get the data to be put into the statistical model. But the other two are equally important, if not more important. That is one, communication skills. Now, the fourth component is what I call business acumen. That is absolutely important. Depending on the project that you're working on, you absolutely need to include that part of the business to your team so that you are addressing their problems, not our problems. So I'm looking for all four, and it's nearly impossible to find the people that have all four. So what I strive for is that together we have a virtual unicorn.
Together, this team continues to anticipate disruptions in the marketplace to turn them into competitive advantage.
I think Teradata has always been part of our architecture design, and we continue to seek the best solutions to achieve our business objectives. And we bring in new software that makes sense. We bring in new combination of hardware that will yield the best performance, whether it's from a storage side or from the runtime perspective. I think Teradata has absolutely been a partner of ours in optimizing our solutions to our problems.
Verizon, using advanced analytics to deliver on their digital promise to help customers innovate their lifestyle.
Yeah. Some great partner videos there that you see, some customer videos. I think we have some more a little bit later on. But again, you can catch all of this on demand 90 days after we wrap here today. So everything that you see here today will be on demand tomorrow. Everything the last couple of days already on demand, so you can go back and watch all the sessions, everything that happened here on the news desk. If you want to check out Oliver Ratzesberger interview with him and I, me plugging his book, because I've been doing every single interview I feel like, but he deserves it. But again, you can watch all those interviews on demand. On demand right now, she is on demand, in demand, Liberty Mutual, VP Data Strategy, U.S. Customer Markets, Karen Bernhardt. Karen, good to have you here.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Good to have you here. So you're in Virginia.
Yes.
But you have one heck of a commute. You got a heck of a commute. So every week it is, you've got to go, you got to travel up north.
Yeah, I travel up to Boston and New Hampshire every week.
How long does that take?
Well, it's a direct flight, so not too long, about a little over an hour.
Okay.
And, a little bit commute time on either side, but it's not bad.
You ever drive? You ever say, you know what, I don't want to get on the plane. I just want to drive.
Yeah, occasionally we do drive with our dogs so that I can spend some time with my family. And that's a little longer. It takes like 10 hours because you got to go through D.C. and Philadelphia and New York and then go. It's all the cities.
Yeah.
So that's what
you mentioned all those cities. All those cities have a baseball team, but you are in the city that is in the World Series. You watched it last night.
I did watch it, and from the very first pitch, it was super exciting.
Can you believe that?
No, it was awesome. I couldn't believe I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
I was drinking
I
my
think
beer.
a lot of people did.
I know. I was like, what just happened? And then, of course, I did the replay, but I was amazed. I just couldn't believe it.
It was one heck of a game, though. Back and forth until JT knocked it out, a two-run shot. That was fun.
It was awesome.
Dodgers took game one here in LA. What do you think is going to be happening tonight? You think it's going to be a repeat? I think it's going to be a repeat.
I think it's a repeat. I mean, Dodgers are just on fire.
They are
really, really good.
Unstoppable. But I'd like to see Houston win one game because they've never actually won a game in the World Series, and they've only been to one.
Well, then I have to root for them now.
I kind of do as well. But I want them to win in Houston.
Yeah,
I want that city really, I want
I'd like to
Houston
have
to be
a
able to have
contest.
that.
Like, I'd like to see the swapping of games. That way, it makes it more exciting.
You and I could just sit here and chat about
We could.
sports.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're big, just big in sports in general, though.
Yeah, I love sports. I like participating in sports. I do, Ironmans and marathons.
Another person that does Ironmans,
Yeah.
making me feel so inadequate in life. Another person that does that. That's great. That's awesome. Well, let's chat about what you got going on here. I'm going to brag about you for a second. Drives the improvement of efficiency of customer market business operations by providing strategic guidance on data and technology processes. Working on identifying and driving key cross-functional use cases that create strategic and transformational value for Liberty's customers, agents, and employees. Business evolution in a data-driven society now. It's a pretty hot topic.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it's all about here. And it's interesting, and I've said this before, is last year, you were in Atlanta last year. Did you come to Atlanta? It was, data changes everything. This year, though, it is hyper-focused on customers, I believe, which is right up your alley.
Yes. So I work in the consumer markets, and it's all about personalization and how you can use data to personalize that experience. Whether you call it customer journey or whether you just call it being customer experience focused, it's all about personalization for that customer.
So let's talk about big data. That's the big buzzword. How is big data impacting the way businesses think about data?
Yeah, so a great data strategy, great business strategy actually incorporates data. And that's actually a change. I think a lot of companies have realized that the value that they need to drive requires us to capture data and to use data in a very different way, and also impacting the customers and in real time. So you always want to be in the moment with that customer, personalizing it. And the only way you can do that is through using data through analytics. And so that's kind of the moment we're at right now is how do you make that happen? How do you collect all this wonderful data at a really granular, detailed level? How do you make decisions that impact customers in a real-time basis? And how do you make sure that customers are getting great experiences? And so it's kind of a fun problem to solve. And you can do it throughout the life cycle of a customer, whether you're selling them new insurance, that's what we do. Whether you're servicing through a claims that they've experiencing some type of horrible event in their life, or whether you're servicing this on the phone. So it's a great problem to have right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I want to talk about communicating the technical concepts because for those of you that are out there, you might know a lot about the industry and how it's changing, but there's going to be some technical terms like, all right, who came up with that? Somebody just threw that out there for fun. Hashtag, really? And then all of a sudden it becomes a buzzword. Everybody's using it. You and I were chatting about this.
Yeah.
How do you convey these technical terms in more layman terms when you're talking to businesses? It can't be real easy. It can't be too easy, can it?
No, it's actually really difficult.
Yeah.
And actually, as a data expert, I actually have struggled with keeping up with all the terms also. So I think even within our own industry, I think every data expert would admit that, hey, how do you actually keep up with all the terms going on? So part of it, as a good data expert, is how do you convert all the technical terms into analogies or just simple language for your business to understand. I happen to be on the business side in my work, and I work with a lot of technical experts, and part of my job is just converting what they're saying into something that's actually truly meaningful. The last thing you want to do is go to your boss and say, hey, I need all this money to fund some type of technology that no one understands. And so, you just got to spend some time to convert all that expert data language into meaningful things. And one thing I like to do is actually sometimes turn it into like car analogies. We have one where we're saying, hey, we have a nice Honda Civic right now, super reliable, cost effective, but maybe not be able to scale into actually the throughput of enough people can fit into it. So we may need to build out, like a minivan. And then I say, actually, no, what I really truly need is like some type of super train instead of a car. So I like to use other types of analogies to kind of explain it all.
It's funny you say that. If you watch back on demand, we've had a couple of people use car analogies. Little different than you. One used a Ferrari, one used a Porsche. You went to Honda and minivan, but then you picked it back up and talked about the train. I really want.
My tech
like
guys
that.
like say, hey, you guys have a Honda Civic, and we want to build you a Porsche, and I say, no, I want a super train. And they're
I like
oh,
that.
Gosh.
You're going to get one up.
Yeah,
I like
gotta
that.
do
I'm going to steal that when somebody asks me something similar. How should we continue to evolve the partnership between businesses and technology?
Yeah, so I think this is another area of many companies are trying to figure out how do we make sure that there's a tight relationship between the business business partners and IT partners. The one thing I'd say that would be really super helpful is make sure we have defined roles. A lot of times the data experts are technical, they like to code. It actually makes sometimes the technical guys feel like, hey, where do I fit in this equation? Sometimes the technical guys try to speak over the business guys in terms of language. So making sure we understand what each other's roles are and agree with them actually helps create a safety net and actually can form a better partnership. So that's the first step. The second step is making sure that we're aligned and have the same goals. So direction-wise, are we headed the same direction? If not, let's have deeper conversations and make sure we have some common space between us. And between making sure you have safety in terms of roles, responsibilities, making sure that we have a common direction around goals, and then that will create more alignment in terms of closer relationships between the two sides.
Big topic here, obviously, is mitigating any risk, and that's what AI and machine learning, deep learning is all about. Mitigating risk for a lot of companies, but business strategy. That's a big topic as well. How's data changing the strategy of business?
Yeah, so this is super fun to see, being on the business side and being able to influence your business partners to incorporate data into their strategy. I truly believe that all strategy actually needs to have data. In fact, the best companies, data will be their strategy because it'll enable them to use data to actually improve their business. So think about it this way, a great business strategy will be how do you collect the data to prove your strategy is right or wrong, hopefully in real time so you can actually adjust your strategy as quickly as possible. That will allow you to come out with better outcomes. So you hate to set a business strategy without alignment to outcomes. So data is actually the link between the two, right? Data actually proves, hey, is my business strategy actually achieving the outcomes I wanted to, the data strategy. So in some sense, having a great data strategy improves your business strategy and actually makes it more nimble, more agile, and for you to adjust it over time.
Well, we talked about how to convey the technical terms. I can understand pretty much everything you're saying. I work in entertainment news, and now I can actually understand what you're saying. So it's great. You're doing a great job, and I hope that continues with a lot of other people out there, because we all want to learn more about this industry. It's such an exciting industry. It's the leading industry in the world, and it's going to continue to be that way. I'm just hoping to understand it more. And thank you very much for chatting with me again. That is Karen Bernhard, Liberty Mutual VP Data Strategy, U.S. Customer Markets. Great chatting with her. We've got a few more interviews coming up. But yesterday I had a chance to catch up with Atif Qureshi, the Global VP Emerging Practices, AI and Deep Learning. Think Big Analytics from Teradata. Let's watch that. Well, my next guest, the Global VP, Emerging Practices, AI and DL, Deep Learning, from right down in San Diego where I'm from. My buddy Atif Qureshi, good to have you up here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
We're going to be chatting about AI and deep learning, and that's a big topic. We haven't chatted actually much about deep learning up here, but AI is a hot topic obviously this year, the edge of next. What is the state of AI in the enterprise today?
Well, we definitely see a lot of enterprises going after AI in a big way, with their leaders telling them that this is what's next. And so a lot of activity, a lot of interest, but customers don't always know where to go. So what our job is to help keep them informed, get them on the right track, and help them deliver transformational efforts, frankly.
Well, your surveys show that there's widespread successes, with 80% of companies reporting some form of AI already in production. Yeah. Explain that. Because a lot of companies, there might be some people in the company that don't even know they're using AI, but it's considered AI. But of course, we use AI all the time. Siri?
That's right, yeah. So some of it is, there have been successes. and there's a lot of products and services that folks can consume to get them AI very rapidly. But the reality is there's still a lot of misconceptions on what AI is. So what we tried to do in the survey was be a little bit more explicit about the definition. And I think folks understanding that definition, really internalizing it, had chose to select that 80% were going after it. And so that, I think there's still some opportunity to do more with it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Enterprises, what can they do today to address the talent problem, I guess, that many companies are going to start focusing on, or they're going to have to start focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, talent within the data science and advanced analytics space, is something that there's been a shortfall for a number of years. And so companies have been collaborating with universities and academia to build those programs, get the talent coming out of the undergrad and graduate programs, and we got to keep doing that. We have to enforce kind of STEM programs and partner with those universities to drive STEM initiatives, and then build a culture in which these students coming out of school want to be a part of. So the top tech firms that are in the Bay Area are really first choice, and so everyone else has to play seconds, and we got to do a better job of helping our customers get that type of talent.
San Diego's up and coming.
It is,
it's one of the hottest cities in the country, I think, is the fastest growing. Next tech startup is what San Diego's
Well, given the weather right now, it is the hottest city, but you're right. Southern California, we really see a lot of efforts to drive more tech there. They have some great schools that are doing a lot of fascinating things in the areas of machine learning and deep learning, like UCSD and San Diego State, UCLA, USC. So, we're very excited about the future, but of course, Teradata and Think Big, we have offices all over the world, in Boston, in San Francisco, Austin, a lot of the great tech hubs. And we, just like everyone else, continue to seek that talent, as do our customers.
We were talking about talent. There's a shortage, and just coming up 2018, where I was talking with some data scientists, some wonderful ladies here earlier, and it's data scientist. What I read in Forbes.com, the sexiest industry to be in the 21st century, and AI falls right along into that.
That's right.
It all goes hand in hand. There's definitely a shortage. Why is there a shortage? Do people just not know about it, or feel like that there is a process to get into AI? I mean, you don't just say, I'm going in. There's a process.
There is a process. I think a lot of the data science disciplines require, an advanced analytics discipline require a blend of talent. This includes math, statistics, of course, computer science and programming skills, as well as deep domain expertise. And so given that, a unicorn data scientist that has all of those capabilities are hard to find. And so we have to really, as an industry, build teams of competencies, of multifunctional competencies, to bring those together.
Want to chat about ML and deep learning. What is the difference? I mean, my base understanding is deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Is that right?
Yes, and we sort of categorize it in three different ways. The first difference, deep learning is absolutely a subset of machine learning. The first difference is deep learning employs neural networks, so the implementation of deep neural networks with multiple hidden layers. The second is a concept of representation learning. So in machine learning, feature engineering is a key aspect to understand which features offer the most prediction to your outputs. And so that's usually a very manual process that the data scientists will use to start to understand what are the most relevant features. And what's interesting in deep learning in particular is that the network itself determines that. And so it's much more automated in that sense, that more of the focus is on the parameterization, tuning, and other aspects, but you allow the math and the network itself to start to figure out which are the features that are most important. And then finally, the third, it's the concept of memorization versus generalization. And so machine learning does really well at memorization, understanding the co-occurrences of features and how they relate. And where deep learning is it's offering a much better way to generalize. So not only looking at co-occurrences of features that have happened in the past, but also predicting and understanding things that may not have happened and offering a better generalized solution.
You know, we've talked about here at the news desk quite a bit about this next question I'm going to ask, because I think you're the perfect person to ask. Your surveys say in the very near future there's going to be chief AI officers.
Yeah.
When do you see that happening? And what is the actual role going to be? And is it going to be a chief AI officer? What's the title? Nobody really knows. But I think you're the best person to ask.
Well, you know, if we think about AI, it's definitely a transformational capability that organizations are taking on. So it touches their operations. It touches, of course, data. So traditional roles like the chief operating officer, the chief data officer, the chief technology officer, because there's an infrastructure element to this, information officer. All of those roles need to be blended in some sense to drive that transformational change. And so I really see the Chief AI Officer as bringing together all of those disciplines. There's also elements of revenue and finance to almost every organization. So disciplines around financial, the Chief Financial Officer also will be consumed within an AI role.
Yeah, and that's one thing we chatted with a gentleman in finance earlier. Is the CFO role gonna expand? I mean, it's almost unfair, depending on what that CFO's background is. It almost seems like there's going to be a secondary that works hand in hand with the CFO in order for that job to really capitalize on what's going on in the industry, staying ahead, looking forward. Can the CFO do that role and the current CFO role in finance? Or in any company, I guess?
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to say, but there will be large degrees of automation that AI offers. We see it more, not necessarily from a replacement standpoint, but more from an assistive augmentation standpoint. And so, you know, the future is still yet to be defined. It's very difficult to project beyond even the next couple of years. But I do see that really a lot of the interest in executive leadership around AI is to offer assistance in a much more strategic way to their decision making.
Yeah, that's it. The theme this year, the edge of next. So it's all, and nowadays you dream something that happens a few years later. You know, you just think, can we, should we, could we? Yes, it will in some form, way or another. So the edge of next, obviously this theme is asking, what is that role going to be? And we're just speculating. But of course, I think, I mean, you're right. That role is definitely going to be coming into play. Just how soon and what is going to be the responsibilities in that role. As we close down day number 2 in just a little bit, what has the experience been for you this year?
Well, it's been busy, all right? A lot of conversations around AI and customers wanting to understand how they can take the deep plunge, if you will. And so where do they get started? They're seeing a lot of opportunity, a lot of interest within their own organization. They understand what's happening from a competitive landscape. They're seeing what their peers are doing in the marketplace. So really, what's the right first, second, third step is where I've been focused in talking with our customers.
Well, I've enjoyed chatting with you, Global VP Emerging Practices, AI and Deep Learning from San Diego, America's finest city. Atif Qureshi, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the time. Hey, we'll be back right here at the news desk. Great chatting with Atif there yesterday, Atif Qureshi. Great chatting with him. And another guy to chat with. I'm glad it's not me. This guy is a little wild, but he's a lot of fun. David, you're out here in the expo hall. You're a little too close for my comfort, but it looks like you found something a little yummy to eat. What are you eating?
Jeff, I'm so excited because the time is now. The dessert reception has started. It's just a bunch of candy and a bunch of cake and a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't be eating, but I'm going to. And you look behind me, it's just all kinds of ridiculous candy. And all these people are trying to be adults and not take handfuls and handfuls. But you'll see them like, sir, is that your first or second trip?
First.
First, or will you be back for more? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm saying, you need more. You need to take more. Get over here, come on.
Look at me, I don't need to take more.
You don't. All right, I'll let you get away with that then, but I want you to feel free to come back.
Thanks for the offer.
You get more and just give it to me.
I like variety. I spread my love around. I'm going to go visit the other tables as well.
Great, I'll just follow you.
Do that.
You head off and I'll find you. All right. So Snickers, we got all kinds of I'm taking a Snickers with almonds. I'm gonna take a Snickers with almonds right now. But this is just this. You're looking at this like, oh, that looks awesome. Come with me. Come over here. There's something over here I saw earlier. Marilyn, would you like a Snickers?
Love one. I just love Snickers.
Well, I love Marilyn Monroe. That's exactly why I gave you Snickers.
Oh, thank you. You don't have any champagne too, do you?
Later. Look me up later. I'll bring champagne to you later.
Okay, Dom Pignon, 1953.
I'm gonna make it happen. All right, come over right here. I like right over here. Right over here is another table, and I'm not sure what this stuff is. I walked by quickly because I was being tempted. Ooh, let's see what this guy's doing. So you're literally scraping your plate to get more food off of there. What is that you just ate?
Well, this is some type of ice cream. It's really sweet, like Teradata.
Now, did you make this mess, sir? That's my question. Is that from your plate? That is not. I mean, it looks like. Hold that plate. Can I hold this plate down here? Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure that came from that plate. Yeah. And then nobody will even notice it. Yeah.
You see here?
Oh, yeah. Let me check the bottom of your boot. Is there? All right, you're clean. You're safe. All right. Yeah, you look good. All right. Well, enjoy the food. Go ahead and lick the plate. Get that food off of there.
Yeah.
No, all right. We'll come back over here. All kinds of stuff here, but there's something really important I want to do. Squeeze through here. I'll get back to the dessert later. But before I run out of time, Jeff, I want to talk about something that I think is just absolutely fantastic that they do here at Partners, and it's happening right back here. This is Teradata Cares. What we've got are people making stuffed animals. They're making beds. They're making blankets to give to kids who haven't got that kind of stuff. And it just, I gotta be careful because I'm a sensitive guy, and thinking about this, it makes me tear up a bit. I think this is amazing. I want to talk to the ladies right here. All right, tell me all about Teradata Cares.
Hi, so we are building beds, doing blankets, stuffing bears, and we're going to donate it all to local foster children in Anaheim.
That is absolutely amazing. Have you had a chance to deliver it and see the reaction of kids and on their faces?
Yes, and I'm going to do that today about 4 o'clock, so really? I'm excited.
Do you just, because I get teared up just thinking about it.
I'm about to cry now.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at the excitement. It's great.
Yeah, let's go have fun because I'm going to tear up. And awesome. You want to go? You want to go with me? All right. Let's find like the unstuffed. I think you should do You want me to do one? Yeah. Look at this. What if I'm gonna do this fancy? You don't even stuff it. You just carry it around like a stuffed animal or like a puppet. I mean, my hand's too big. My hand's too muscular. Hold on. How are you doing at Teradata's? Oh, I'm just. I can't do that. I can't do ventriloquism. I can hardly say the word. But let me show you, because we're running out of time, let me show you what the finished product looks like. It looks like this right here, like this guy. Completely stuffed, ready to go to a kid. That is awesome. How you guys doing over here? You guys feel good doing this, knowing what you're doing for children?
Yes.
There's a kid today that doesn't have one of these right now, and tonight he will have one because of what you're doing. Does that make you feel good?
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much. Keep going. Stuff. How full are you? Let me see how full you are. Okay. Yeah. He's a little bit. Keep going. You're doing good. This is crazy. Over here, they're literally making beds for kids. And I talked to Paul. Come here a minute. Paul, come over here. Paul had a brilliant line. What did you say about the beds?
I said on the beds that we have a lot of children this morning that have a bed tonight, and that's going to make a big difference. And the personalities with all the stickers makes a big difference too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you, Paul. Okay, I want to check out one of the beds. I'm going to check it out just to make sure it's sturdy. I'm going to get back here in the corner just in case. Right here. Look at this. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Sheets, a little guy. What is that? Is that a purple frog? I don't know if that's a purple. Is that a purple frog? You think that's a frog? Yeah? Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. You know, Jeff, this is kind of nice. I might have to do the rest of the thing from here. Can I just do this the rest of the time, or should I get up? I got 3 minutes left. Would it be awkward if you just watched me sleep for 3 minutes? I just spit all over the mic. That's how excited I am. There's a look what happened here. I don't know what this is or where it came from, but I'm gonna eat a cupcake that I found on the floor. I have no idea. I'm hoping somebody just left this here. Let's come over here and see what's going on. That's a good cupcake. What? It's all on my face. I get it. Good. All right. Let's see what's going. That's a good cupcake. Oh, there's something inside this cupcake. So here's. Hey, ladies, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You want a bite of my cupcake?
No, thanks.
No. So what's the secret here? It's such bad. Man, that's a good cupcake. You talk for a little bit. I'm going to eat a cupcake.
All right, well, we're making blankets here, and we're just cutting and tying knots. It's a no-soap blanket, and hopefully it'll keep somebody warm, and they'll have something fuzzy to cuddle with.
That is awesome. You guys are doing great. So you got 2 blankets. Like I said, my wife has made these before. 2 blankets go together. You cut little strips in them like this, and then you tie them together. My wife has made me one. It's got poker chips all over it. And it's awesome. Those are great. You guys are doing great. Thank you very much for doing what you're doing.
Enjoy your cupcakes.
Thank you. You sure you don't want one last bite? Last one. Oh, you got? I'll just eat yours then.
Go for it.
No, I'm kidding. This is plenty. Look, I don't know what that is. And there's something in the middle of this cupcake, and it's absolutely amazing. Jeff, I'll try to bring you one. But no, I won't. I'll try to bring you one, but I'm not going to make it to the desk. I'm going to have it gone before it gets there. Look, this is the craziest this expo hall has been, and it might be because of the desserts. I mean, it was this crazy on the welcome reception. We got peripheral vision. I can see. Is there? Nobody told me. I can see it sticking straight out of my lip. Lattes. We've got lattes and cappuccinos and cafe mochas going on over here. You get a lot of people coming up here and requiring your services.
So many. We can't get enough.
Really? What's the most popular thing you've given out today?
Espresso. Everyone seems to be looking for a rush. So.
You know what? And we mentioned that not long ago that it's been a long week already, and we're about halfway through. So this is important. What you're doing, sir, is very, very important. You keep people going. So thank you very much. All right, guys. So if you're sitting at home, you're one of our virtual viewers, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the refrigerator or go to the candy cabinet, something, and get some candy and just go find dessert somewhere. I don't care if it's just a thing of whipped cream and you have to pretend it's on top of something. Go find some dessert and eat it right now so you can feel like you're doing the exact same thing all of these people are doing. I mean, look at this guy right over here. The guy's sitting right there with the backpack on at the table. Look at him. Look how intently he's looking at his food right now. He's in love. He's in love with that food that he's eating. He hasn't taken his eyes off of it yet. Jeff, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do my best to bring you a cupcake. I don't know if I'll make it to you, but I'm going to try my best. I promise. I promise. Back to you.
Oh, man. David McCreary, it's been a lot of fun seeing that guy all over the place as he makes people feel uncomfortable inside the expo hall, outside the expo hall. It's pretty great. Right now, I've
brought you one.
Speaking of, he made his way to the news desk.
You're gonna want to eat from this side, though.
Is that right?
Eat from that side.
Okay.
Don't even look at the other side. Just eating it well.
Yeah, got it. I'm in the middle of an interview here, by the way.
Jason Silva, hey.
Oh, hey, man.
I'm a big fan.
Oh,
big
yeah,
fan.
nice to
Jason,
meet you.
Dave. Okay, get out of here.
Let me take this.
Get out of here.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Nice guy.
Scary guy. Well, there you go. There is your introduction. We have the man, the myth, the legend himself right now, Jason Silva, just moments before you're going to be getting up there and chatting with the entire partners group. Yeah. And the anticipation, the excitement it has been building. And when I heard that you were going to be during the in the general session. I was excited. I've been following you on Instagram for a while. You're
thanks,
you're
man.
a fun guy. You're an
Thanks,
exciting
dude.
guy.
Yeah, it takes one to know one.
You know what's also exciting, and I saw yesterday you posted out there, Larry King, the legend as well. You got to sit down with Larry King. How was that?
It was incredible. As I was telling you, I grew up in South America. I used to watch him on CNN via satellite, and I always loved that he always used to sit down with these kind of thought-provoking iconoclasts, you know, not just celebrities, but ex-presidents, Nobel Prize winners, sometimes presidents who are still in office. So the opportunity to sit down with him and have a conversation, a philosophical exchange about technology and the future was just surreal and delightful in every way that I can possibly describe.
I would be a mess. I mean,
I was a mess. I mean, I was very nervous, you know, but
I would be seeing him talk and not hear anything. It's just like, this Larry King,
Yeah.
this Larry King. He's asking me a question. What am I supposed to say? We're live? Okay.
Yeah,
And that's
I
wild.
was nervous mostly because I wasn't sure if what I was telling him was like resonating
Sure.
or landing. But we did have a couple moments where I felt we truly connected. So
Okay. A couple of moments that will last forever.
Yeah.
The exciting part about partners every single year is, of course, the opening general session. Joey Ito, we had him from MIT speaking.
Oh, big fan.
He's a great guy. Had him up here as well. So delightful to chat
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
And but now you coming up here. That is an exciting part leading into tonight's Three Doors Down, by the way. We're going to be playing at House of
awesome.
Blues. Hopefully you can join us
Awesome.
there. But you're going to be a part of that with the leaders of Teradata, partners.
excited.
How do you prepare? How do you prepare to speak to the minds that are here with partners, all the businesses? How do you prepare for that?
You know, I try to tap into the sort of origin of my inspiration and my interest in technology. I mean, the theme of the day is the edge of next. And, you know, we really are at the edge of next. People use these terms like disruption, and that's like the name of the game now. You know, disrupt yourself or somebody else will disrupt you. But the question is why? And that, of course, has to do with the fact that technology is accelerating at exponential rates. Human beings, however, think about change in a linear fashion. So it always takes us by surprise. The next big thing always takes us by surprise because we continue to think linearly instead of exponentially. And so when I get the opportunity to speak to audiences like this, it really becomes a reminder for me to remind them that they need to blow that linear lens and see things exponentially and embrace exponential change and disruption as a unique opportunity for reinvention. This is how we move forward. This is how we break boundaries.
And this is why Jason Silva is going to be on the station. I'm excited. I mean, the energy that you bring,
Thanks, man.
the intuitiveness that you have in the industry. For those of you, first off, that are watching live on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Teradata website, background, I'm going to brag about Jason Silva here for a second. Emmy-nominated host of National Geographic's channel's #1 rated and Emmy-nominated series, Brain Games, in over 100 countries. I'll also be seen as the host of 8-part National Geographic series, Origins. That's a fun one.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun to watch as well. What was
Thanks.
it? That experience, Brain Games and Origins. What are the parallels?
Well, here's the thing, right? So Brain Games is all about our perceptions and misperceptions of reality. It's about highlighting the cognitive biases and cognitive slippages that often distort the way we perceive the world, and creating these games and participatory games so people at home could play along and experience these holes and lapses in how they see the world. You know, people watch the show and say, "Oh, I feel so dumb." No, it's not that you're dumb at all. It's just that our brain is quite limited, which I think makes it even more extraordinary that we have this capacity to survive in the world. And then Origins looks at key technological innovations that change the game for humans. So the origin of language, the origin of medicine, the origin of transportation, the origin of exploration. And so that was a chance to deep dive into how we became who we became.
I want to talk to you about technology. It's technology is exciting, but at the same time, it is scary.
Sure.
The misuse of technology is scary, and
Yeah.
we're seeing that quite a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Are you worried about that?
Well, I think you always have to proceed with caution. And, technology extends human agency and creativity. By that means it's a double-edged sword because we have impulses that are positive and that are negative. Perhaps one of the most disruptive technologies of all time was when we domesticated fire. When we domesticated fire, all of a sudden we could cook our food. When we could cook our food, essentially cooking became a prosthetic stomach, a technological prosthetic appendage that pre-digested our food and made every meal more energy efficient, which means we could stay full for longer, which means we had time all of a sudden for all these other things. Before cooking, we spent all day, every day chewing. There's a book about it called How Cooking Made Us Human. So this is really the story. It's how our technologies made us who we are, because by the same token, you could use fire to burn the village next door. Language, another singularity that changed the game. Well, language gave us Shakespeare, gave us poetry, gave us all these magnificent things, but language can be weaponized, you know. Look at fake news and the distribution of filter bubbles on social media these days. That's weaponized memetics. That's using the technology of language and information to manipulate people. So it goes both ways. It always has, man. We have to proceed with caution. That's
such a creative thinker. I got a question. How do you tap into thinking more creatively more often?
Yeah, well,
what are your tricks?
Sure, yeah. I mean, the trick is simply to get out of your own way. And what I mean by that is that we all have this inner critic. We all have this part of our brain that is the second guesser. And that's a part of the brain called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And granted, you don't need to remember the name. What you need to realize is that there's certain activities that shut that down, that get rid of the inner critic. And what happens is when you're in those flow states, as they're called, risk-taking goes up, creativity goes up, and performance goes up. So why is that happening? Because you're essentially getting out of your own way, as the bumper sticker says. So how do you get into flow? Well, novel situations, just the right amount of challenge, you know, not too much, not too little. It depends on what it is that is your particular trigger. For some people, it's walks in the forest. For some people, it's writing. For some people, it's jazz. I have many years playing with video and kind of recording my stream of consciousness, which is no different than journaling if you're a writer. The idea is don't put the pen down. Just keep talking. You know, don't let your inner critic stop you. And eventually that becomes like a muscle where you trust yourself.
We've got about 45 seconds remaining. Yeah. You're such an optimistic guy.
I try to be.
How do you stay so optimistic?
Well, I make a choice every single day, you know. I mean, we have a choice. There's these signals that come in and we interpret those signals and we decide, okay, I could resign myself and become a fatalist, or I could decide to seize the day and take this as a challenge to be overcome. And it's a choice, man. It's a choice.
Well, it's great. I'm excited to see you tonight. Very excited to have you here. For all of you that are watching right now, the general session is going to be happening in just a little while. Of course, he's going to be up there leading the charge. Up there with Katie Linendahl, which I know you've been on her podcast as well. Jason, thank you so much. Again, Jason Silva.
Thank you.
The keynote, the general session, closing out day number 3 here at Partners 2017. We are going to be continuing here on the news desk, but we're going to be shutting it down live. So everybody watching on the channels, YouTube, Facebook, Teradata, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and hopefully you guys will come back in just a little bit. A lot more action happening here in Anaheim. Partners 2017 continues in a bit.